I'm Val Jackson, and welcome to the Good Couch. This week, we're going to talk about Mobile, Alabama's Black history. Yes. And there are a lot of success stories from right out of Mobile, Alabama, a lot of history. And Mobile, Alabama is deep in history. Mobile and the surrounding areas. So let's get started, shall we? My first success story is about a man named Mr. Cujo Lewis. Mr. Cujo Lewis was a survivor of the last slave ship to enter U.S. waters by way of Mobile, Alabama, by way of Plateau, the small township in Mobile County, Plateau, Alabama, aka now called Africatown, USA. Yes. And he was a survivor of that last slave ship that entered in Mobile in 1860. 1860. Now, in 1860, the U.S. government um, said no more slaves, no more human cargo brought here to the U.S. from the continent. It was illegal. They couldn't bring any more slaves here from Africa. So, as you would know it, this ship rolls up and it's in 1860, which it was illegal. So, they had to let them go. And they let the slaves go, Mr. Cujo Lewis and others that were on the slave ship, in a place called Plateau, Alabama. Now, Plateau, Alabama is a small township in Mobile County, right over by the river, not far from the port of Mobile and not far from the average waterways, state docks, and all of that, right there in that same, almost in that same location. So, the water isn't far. So, Mr. Cujo and others, which I don't know all the other families, but his name is sticks out. Mr. Cujo Lewis, he, I couldn't imagine. One day I'm at home, next thing you know, I'm being put in shackles and put on this ship I've never seen, or I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know the language. I don't know these people. I don't know what they're going to do to me. I don't know what's to become of me. And I know it was fear and anxiety. I knew it was a lot of things going on, not to mention them being cramped up and living in inhumane uh, conditions. But they made it. They made it. And they lived to tell the tale. They lived and they made it to Plateau, Alabama. What they had to be, they couldn't do anything with the slaves, so they left them there. But even though they were lost and in a different world, a different land, they made it. They made it. They endured. They endured and they made a life and a living, and their descendants still live in Africatown, Plateau, Alabama, Africatown, USA. Descendants from the Clotilda still live in that area. That place has so much history. It's remarkable. It's remarkable and beautiful to know that these people made it. Didn't know the language, didn't know what was going to become of them, but they made it. And that's something to be proud of. And speaking of the last slave ship, the Clotilda, do you know that they found the last remaining pieces of that ship right down right down from uh, where it landed? Not far. Not far. They found that. And they found it in 2019. No, excuse me, not 2019, 2019. They found it in 2019. They found remaining pieces not far from where they dropped the slaves in Plateau, aka Africa Town. And you know that place is a testament to adversity and strength. So I would like to say to Mr. Cudjoe and the descendants of those people on that last slave ship, thank you. Thank you. And now I would like to go to my next success story. My next success story is about a man that is an entrepreneur or was an entrepreneur, an architect, builder, master road builder, and his name was Dave Patton. Now, Dave Patton was born in Mobile also, but Dave Patton went to school at Emory University. He graduated from Emory University. And he had a lot of diverse studies. He learned a lot. And this was in the early 20th century. You know, 1900, 1910, 1920, 1930, the early parts of the 20th century. So Jim Crow was alive and well. And you know, it was hard for people of color, very hard. But he made it. Like I said, he went to Emory, he graduated from Emory, and he learned, he held a huge assortment, arrayment of learning, really diverse. But do you know this man, Dave Patton, helped build the Sanger Theater? The Sanger Theater that's downtown in Mobile off of Dolphin Street. The same one that's still standing. And before Corona, they were still having events. Still having a lot of events in the theater. And it's a beautiful place. They renovated it a couple of years ago, and it looks great. It brings back that old glamorous charm to theaters like they used to have back in the day. They called them movie houses. And it has that glamour. Yeah. And that feel, that luxurious feel, as well as look. And he also helped build Murphy High School. Now, Murphy High School at that time was one of the best, the biggest, the more elite high schools back in the early part of the 19th century. Well, excuse me, 20th century. 20th century. I'm not sure exactly when Murphy was built, but I believe it was like in the 1920s. So And like I said, it offered a whole lot of things that a lot of schools did not have at that time and still don't have, like indoor pools and tennis courts and uh, just a diverse place to learn, brand new, and the architecture is on that old school, old Spanish style uh, architecture, um, or Floridian or whatever you want, but I say it's Spanish style architecture, and it is very beautiful. I mean, if you like old buildings and the way things are made and the style, which I do, you'll love it, and you'll definitely love the Singer Theater also. But do you know also that he helped build roads? He constructed roads in Mobile, Alabama. I mean, I can imagine in the early 20th century that the roads weren't very good. They're not all that good now, too, in a lot of places. But I could definitely imagine. And he constructed those roads in downtown Mobile and around in Mobile. And they do have a tour, a Dave Patton tour that, well, is included in a tour. And it shows some of the places that he helped build and the roads that they travel on. There's some of the roads that he have constructed. So, that's a great honor to have a tour, and it's about you and your works. I'm sure he's no longer with us, but I think that's remarkable to have made it through those hard times, just like Mr. Cujo Lewis made it. And he had it harder and rougher than this man. But they both prevailed and they did well. So I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, Mr. Patton. And now we're going to go to our next success story. She is an American doctor. I've had the pleasure of meeting her on several occasions because I am lucky enough to have met some of her relatives and happen to be friends with them. So, but I just want to tell you, she is as sweet and as endearing and caring as you, I mean, unexpectedly, she's just that. She's an angel. A lot of people with all these accolades, it goes to their head, and they don't have time for the small person. They don't have time. If you're not on their level, they don't have time. But Dr. Regina Benjamin is one of these people, one of these rare people that make time and help people and do what's right in her position. So let's talk about Dr. Regina Benjamin for a minute, shall we? Dr. Regina Benjamin is an American physician. She was the former Vice Admiral in the U.S. Health and Service Commission Corps. Smart. She also was appointed to the position of Surgeon General during President Barack Obama's terms, 2 terms. She served as Surgeon General. She is from Baldwin County, Daphne, Alabama. Baldwin County. Daphne, Alabama. Yeah, I had to say that twice. And during that time, she also, well, before that time, before she got to be the Surgeon General, and she opened a nonprofit clinic in Bowler Battery. and that's in uh, Mobile County. That's in South Mobile County. That's right there, right after you come out of Mississippi on I-10, Biola Battery. And she opened that clinic to help the people in that area. I don't know, because and in the surrounding areas, I'm sure, not just in Biola Battery, but in the surrounding areas. And you know how hard it is. Some people don't have health insurance. They don't have the money. It's hard. It's hard all the way around. And for this woman to say, hey, I need to help people. I'm going to help people. I know how to get help, and I'm going to bring it here to these people because they don't have anybody. They don't have a clinic. Is and she did that, helping people, loving people. That's love. Yeah, that's love. Let me go on. She also is on the board of trustees at Morehouse. Yeah, Morehouse School of Medicine. She's on the board of trustees. Now, I know with all her accolades and this being on the board of trustees, but they couldn't have made a better choice to have. I mean, come on. She's well qualified, overqualified. They had to have her. They needed her on the board of trustees. She's a great addition. A great addition. And for those who don't know about Morehouse, it is a historical black college or university. And Morehouse is one of the top in the country. I think that's a beautiful thing. So I would like to say to Dr. Regina Benjamin, you are truly a success story. Nobody has to tell you that. I'm proud to have met you and know you. And I'm also proud of all of your accomplishments and the good works that you're doing. You are truly an angel of mercy to the people in Biola Battery and other areas that you serve. Thank you. And now, last but not least, well, no, it's not last. I'm jumping the gun. Yeah, I'm jumping. Uh, our next success story is a man, an inventor, and he also was an engineer at NASA. From right here in Mobile, Alabama. Yes. And that's Mr. Lonnie Johnson. Mr. Lonnie Johnson of Mobile, Alabama, a graduate from Williamson High School. Yeah, a lion. Let me do that again. A lion. Yeah, from Mobile, Alabama, aka Maysville. Maysville. That's what we call it. But it's Mobile. But he was a graduate from there, from Williamson, and he, worked in NASA as an engineer. Now the man was smart, okay? The man was smart. Now we got a lot of smart people in Mobile. A lot of smart people. A lot of dumb ones too, but a lot of smart ones that will do what they need to do. And he did that, and he made it. Not only did he work for NASA, but in his spare time, he made the Super Soaker. You know the Super Soaker? The gun that you fill up with water that look like a Uzi and shoot. Yeah, I got wet up, almost drowned. I had went and got my hair done. Okay. Now, this was in the 90s because he invented it in 1990. But this might have been about 94, 95. You know, it's still big now. The Super Soaker is still a big item, especially in the summer when it's hot and you got kids outside, help cool them off. Well, I had just got my hair whipped. And this was at the time, when folks were sleeping, women were sleeping out the bed. It's a black thing, but, for those of y'all that don't know, sleeping out your head hanging out the bed where you won't mess up your hair. Because they got freeze curls and banana peels and stuff in your head. And hey. So you laying where you won't mash your curls. And your hair still look good. Yeah. I messed my neck up many a night trying to sleep where I wouldn't mess up my hair. But I opened the door to get something out of the car. And they were, my two boys, they shooting, playing. Well, I got hit dead in the face and in the head. They didn't mean to do it, but it happened. And you talking about a wet hen, madder than a wet hen? I can laugh about it now. But oh boy, I thought I was drowning. Backstroke, drowning. You know what I mean? I thought I was, yeah. But let's, this man, Mr. Lonnie Johnson, a genius. A genius. And he also donated money to Williamson High School, his alma mater, to help build a tech center on campus for the students to get their education and to get their ideas and their focus on in this vast world of technology. And I just want to say that's beautiful. You're giving back to the community. It's all about love. It's all about giving back. So I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Johnson. You are a success story from Mobile, Alabama. And now, last but not least, ding, Mr. Lloyd Austin of Mobile, Alabama. Now, I don't know where he was born, his township or whatever, but I know he's from the city of Mobile. I don't know what high school he went to, but I do know this. He's the man. And when I say the man, he's the man. He's head of the Pentagon. There we go. Like a skipping record. You got to hit that sucker. There you go. Yeah. Well, like I said, he's head of the Pentagon. He's running things in the Pentagon. Really? Yeah. And he's well qualified to do so. Yes, he is. He is a 4-star general. He been in the service, I know, 30-some years? 1975 to 2017, 2016, something like that? Oh, wow. Are you kidding? That man knows his stuff. Protect and defend, they got the right one. Because he's well qualified. And he also had a position where he was Secretary of Defense. Yeah. Till 2001. Till January 22nd, 2001. So he had just left that job. He was on the job when he got this job. Now that's good. Great promotion. Yes. President Joe Biden had appointed him to that position. And they couldn't have done any better. Unless they got Colin Powell. But then Colin said he done with it. But they got the next best man. The next best man. Well qualified. I have faith in it. I think he's going to do an excellent job. Even though this is Black History Month, and I know that they talk about when they say Black History Month, you think about George Washington Carver and Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King. But I wanted to focus on the Black history, some of the Black history that occurred and the people that are from this area, Mobile and the surrounding areas. I wanted to focus on them because there's so many talented people here, so many. They just started tapping in on it. The world. Just beginning to realize, hey, they got some folks down there that's doing some big things. They've left, some of them have left in Mobile and moved on, but their roots are here. The foundation is here. And what a great place to be. A great place to be from. Because we're rich in history, family, tradition, love. And I would like to say thank you for tuning into the Good Couch this week. Oh, take care of yourself. Be sure to take care of yourself and live your dream. Live your dream. You need inspiration? You know where to go. Or look up some of these miraculous and wonderful people that have really went through some things through adversity. They made it. They made it. They went through these trials and tribulations and they made it. So God bless you. Have a good night. And I'll see you next week on the Good Couch. But we're going to talk about Mardi Gras. We're going to talk about Mardi Gras, even though it's not going on. But there's some things happening, and we're going to talk about it. Good night.
You had a hard day, grinding the day away.